Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Going into our second hour of Roll20 Presents D&D Adventurers League, Adventure number 6, The Scroll Thief. There's some thievery afoot. Let's investigate. Where do you want to? What lead do you want to follow up on first? Who do you want to go talk to? There's a former adventurer. There's a noble, and there is a wizard.
Is the wizard the curio shop guy? I want to see him.
Yes, yeah, it's a her.
Or her.
Yep.
I don't know.
I would be preferable for the book that she didn't know how it fit in, the Noble Lineage book. But
yeah, I mean, you can go see all of them. The order in which they were stolen, the first book stolen was The Weave that was stolen from Aya Glenmere. The second book was the biography, and the third book, the most recent one stolen, was Last Night, and it was the Lords and Lineages one stolen by Lord Lamarck.
I think
Kendrick Lamarck.
Our best chance of working out what the pattern is to start with the adventurer, then probably go to the lineage, then the magic, or swapping the lineage and the magic, because the adventuring one is going to be specific enough that we can look at events written within it if the person remembers, to try and then tie the two others together. I think that's the one to focus on.
However you want to do it.
all right, let's just go to the adventurer guy then.
Yeah, that's what I would suggest anyway.
Okay. All right. So you find yourselves sometime later outside the address that you were given to the estate, I guess, of Martin Foss. Martin owns some land in the Noble District, and there's a I think before you even like get inside, like he's got like kind of a house with a courtyard, like it's big enough that you have to enter into the courtyard and then go up to the front doors. Before you even go through the courtyard, the doors are open. You can hear what sounds like battle. You can hear the obvious clang of steel on steel, and like the shouting of people engaged in melee, even before you reach the stout doors of the practice yard. Yeah. So what do you want to go rushing in? Do you approach, like, anyone want to like sneak in? But you can definitely hear like someone fighting.
You just called it a practice yard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah. So I think that's the thing, Lane. You recognize, like, maybe you feel that like sense of like, it's okay, we don't have to rush, because you recognize like this is a place where people like learn to fight. You can see maybe like a beat up like practice dummy in the alley next to the house. Yeah, maybe the rest of you wouldn't have noticed the practice yard bit, but Lane, are you like, it's okay to everybody else, or how do you want to handle that?
Yeah. I'm like, this is fine. As strange as it seems, people practice these within their own homes if they're given enough space.
Sure. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think as soon as you enter the yard, you can see there's a middle-aged dwarf man. He's got two axes, one in each hand, but they're like wooden axes. His opponents, a half dozen much younger men and women, mostly human, have like actual, though probably dull, like steel weapons. He's got his shirt off, and he has like scars kind of like on his shoulders and his back. This is a guy who's obviously been in several fights. And one of his legs has been amputated just above the knee, and it's like a wooden peg. And he's like handily dispatching all of these people like as they come at him, and he seems to be having a great time of it too. He's like laughing and swinging around and like knocking people over. And when you enter the courtyard, you distract one of the like trainees, and they turn and look, and they get an axe to the side of the head. And they like grab their head and like, and they like fall to one knee, and then
definitely laughs.
And then the dwarf like, he tosses his axes aside and looks up at you, and he's like, right, well, that's practice for the day. You lot, embarrassing. Go wash up. And he like points to like an outbuilding, and he turns to you, and I think he grabs like a rag off of a bench, and is like kind of like wiping the sweat off of himself as he walks over, and he's like,
I hold up a hand. I'm like, please don't stop on our behalf. If you have to dismiss them anyway, perhaps. My companion and I like look to Gravaris because he's the other melee fighter. Who's like, we could, we have the discussion.
he as he approaches, he's like, no, it's it's fine. I've beaten them twice already today. They need to learn when to give up.
I think perhaps he's suggesting
Anyways.
that you could show them a worthier opponent, aka self.
When you speak, he notices you like kind of for the first time. He looks past Lane because Lane's a big, impressive looking dude in plate armor. He sees you, and as if like you didn't even know where it came from, like you didn't see it on him before, but now he's got this this like silver like knife in his hand, and his teeth are gritted, and he's like he's immediately like ready to fight, and he says, "Does anybody speak Dwarvish?"
I
Nope.
don't think so.
All right, he says something like angry in Dwarvish.
Or
And-
perhaps you would rather spar me, sir.
He looks at you, Lane, and he's like, "What's the meaning of this? You bring a dark elf into my home?"
I'm very sorry, sir. It's dark times in Flan, and we take what help we can get.
I stay behind whoever I'm standing behind right now. I don't say a fucking word.
Right. So yeah, his sort of friendly demeanor has like washed away in the face of this like sudden hostility, and he says to you, he's like, "Tell me your business here."
We were hoping to help you recover what had been stolen from you.
He nods. He's like, "Aye, the book then, huh?" And he looks at you, Oleander, and he's like, "I suppose it takes a thief to find one." And he like the blade like again kind of disappears. Like he's got a holster now that you notice, like a scabbard, but you didn't see it before. And he puts it back and he says, "I've spoken to the Black Fist already, but they didn't seem interested. But you lot, you're not Fist. I recognize comrades in arms, but why aren't you out in the wilds fighting skeletons or whatnot? Why do they have you chasing after a book?"
Well, honestly, the hope here is that this is tied into something bigger. Finding out who took your book, perhaps some others, is going to lead us to said skeleton-filled lair that we might.
And you should know as adventurers that sometimes money talks. And sometimes you need it. Chasing after books might not be my first choice, but neither are lairs filled with zombies and skeletons. You do what you have to.
And he
Like,
kind of like he glances over at you, and then looks back to Graveris and Lane, and he says, "Fine, you're being paid for it. That's all that matters. Gods know I've taken on worse jobs, though with better company."
Yeah, Graveris is going to chime in when he says that and just be like, "She was born a drow and didn't have much choice in it. You, on the other hand, can stop being an asshole."
All right. Why don't we have you
Slight like
the tiny cough of a kobold? Why don't we have you roll a God, you need like a put someone in their place check.
Intimidate?
Make a charisma save. You're not really trying to intimidate him, right? You're not trying to like be like, "I'm gonna beat you up if you don't change your ways." Yeah, just make a charisma saving throw.
Well, I would argue I'm persuading.
I mean, do you want him to change his behavior, or are you just trying to be like, think about not being a dick, like? Because if you're trying to, it's gonna be much harder for you to be like, this innate hatred of dark elves you have, I'm gonna roll to make you change it. But yeah, what's your
I don't
intent
need to
here?
forever change his character. I just need him to like
stop being an asshole right
Stop.
now.
so overtly a jerk in this immediate moment.
Sure. Okay.
Oh my god, they are just. Oleander is gonna be like, it was bad before, but I can tell it's insufferable.
And I get a 24.
Oh shit!
I get a 27.
Congratulations on being the best. Nice work.
Andrew's very good at role-playing games.
Yeah. So he he looks at you, Graveris, and kind of like scowls. You know, you can see his curmudgeonly dwarven nature come to the fore, and then he sighs and he's like, "Aye, we can't all choose who we are. I remember I went on an adventure with a lizard man once. That was a great time. Can't remember his name. Bright green he was, though. Hell of a fighter. I'm sure." And he like looks at you, Lane, like pointedly, like if you say that this dark elf is fine, then I'll believe you. But he's like, "I'm sure if folks such as yourselves find this one worth traveling with, and I can put up with her for a day or two."
Yeah. I think the only thing I add is she's had plenty of opportunities to shoot me in the back or in my sleep. And I guess that's all you can ask.
Yeah, and he looks over at you, Oleander, and sees your bow. You have a long bow, right?
Oh yeah.
And he's like, "Isn't that thing a bit large for your people? Don't you usually use little ones with poison? I heard that there was a dark elf someplace up north who used 2 scimitars. Unusual thing. They
What
say
is it
he's
about surface dwellers?
friendly
and that
dark
one
elf."
dark elf with 2 scimitars. Really? That's the only dark elf you've ever met.
He's like, I've
That's a stereotype.
He's like, every dark elf I've ever met is lying cold in the ground. And I don't mean that as a threat. I just haven't spent a lot of time chatting with them.
I absolutely appreciate that. No worries. Oleander's just like, she's like, okay, like at least this guy is obviously a worthy enemy, and he's not gonna like try and kill me the second I turn around. Thanks in part to Gravaris. So yeah, she's not gonna be too sassy.
Okay. So he's like, you know what always makes me, and this is to Graveris, he's like, you know what always makes me feel more tolerant? Drinking. How about it? And he like looks around, he's like, it's gotta be past noon. Come inside.
Yeah, to which Guerrero says, "If you're gonna drink all day, you gotta start in the morning."
He says, no, I have a very strict discipline. Fighting first, drinking second, and then more fighting. But it's a different kind of fighting. Come inside. I'll tell you everything you need to know about this book.
So yeah, we break the ice with this dwarf. and
Yeah,
now
yeah.
We're all able to be chums.
So he takes you inside.
I haven't seen the kobold though.
He takes you inside. I think as long as you stay kind of, he's not going to get any more mad about you being with it'll be like, oh, a kobold as well. Cool. Like,
we are a diverse bunch.
yeah. I'm not gonna. He's
I've
over it.
I've just been keeping quiet this whole time. It's just like there's already enough trouble. I'm not gonna make more.
So the dwarf leads you into his house, and Martin takes you to his like lounge, his like waiting room basically. And this is like a big house. It's constructed in a human style, so it probably wasn't built for him. But inside there's all kinds of like trophies and statues and stuff, like obvious. It's like walking through a British museum, like obvious stuff that he's taken from other parts of the world and like discovered in ruins. You see like a Thayan tapestry and an Omnian statuary set and stuff. He's been all over the place.
He's a treasure hunter.
Yes, he's a treasure hunter, exactly. Or he was, before he lost his leg in a horrible treasure hunting accident. So he takes you into his study, which seems to be like a themed room for like a particular individual. There are a few like oil paintings of this guy, this like sort of sandy blonde haired dude he's wearing leather armor in all of the pictures you see painted of him. One of them is him fighting what looks like a dragon, a kind of like a yellowish scaled dragon in a cave somewhere. There's like a stately portrait of the same guy, but like older. And then there's bits and pieces throughout the room of like stuff that out of context would look like trash, like a scrap of cloth in a glass case, a long knife set in a display case as well. Several maps of the city of Flan, that kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if any of you recognize him, like this person, like off the bat, but yeah. That's the thing.
It's clearly adventurer so and so whom he is a fan of.
Yes, yeah. The scribe master referred to him as Ren of the Blade.
Ren
And and so he sits you down, and he's obviously brought you to this room because he's proud of his collection, and is like looking at you the way like a nerd does when they show you something they're really into, and they're like, huh?
That's a very diverse collection of objects.
If there's anything that's like obviously like a drow relic, I want to just like bring up something that I would know that he might not know because he just outright killed the guy who had it.
Yeah, I mean this stuff actually isn't it doesn't actually belong to, well, it belongs to him, but it's not any of like Martin's like personal stuff. This seems to all be objects. Yeah, it's like a shrine to a celebrity basically, right? And so he sits you down. He's got a shirt, like one of his servants like brings him some clothes. He puts a shirt on, and it's like a kind of a fancy doublet. And so he comes back, and you'll have ale now.
Does this shirt say "Ren of the Blade"? Like
number one fan? No, it does not. But it's actually no. You know what? The shirt doesn't say anything on it because they don't have graphic tees in the medieval era. But it's obviously patterned after like one of the shirts that Ren is wearing in his like portrait. Like it's a dwarf size. Like he's like, oh, Ren wore that shirt to like in this portrait in this here. So he had a tailor craft one for him.
Yeah. Is there a possibility that I might actually have heard of this person?
The name is super familiar. You can make a history check if you want to. If you want to know more about Ren particularly.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and make that check.
Is that potentially able to help me out here just before I roll?
What? I wouldn't know anything.
I mean, I think unless you ask someone to help you, you can't get.
Oh, no. Okay, it's fine.
Oh yeah, your history is top notch. Yes. So Ren o' the Blade is a folk hero of the city of Flan, who was instrumental in defeating a great and powerful evil entity known only as Tyranthraxis. It was a demon of some power who possessed a bronze dragon, and for a very, very short period of time, very short and dark period of time, ruled over the city of Flan and used it as its own personal playground. Ren was one of the like heroes, kind of the main hero, who kind of like led the fight against Tyranthraxis and freed Flan from its demonic overlord. This was like several hundred years ago.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So like he's pointing out all the things, and I'm like nodding along, and I just wait until the conversation like gets low, and then I'll just like drop a nerd bomb on him. I don't know like what specifically it would be, but I'm just like,
Okay. Sure.
Like, that's a really nice bow. Yeah, that was after he did blah 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 that he found that in X cave or whatever, right?
Yeah, sure. Like you show that you like understand it as well as he does, and he like his wrinkly dwarven eyes suddenly like widen, and he's like there's that moment of recognition where he's like, wait, you love Ren too? Like, and suddenly he's just like, yes, exactly. That's what I've always been saying. And like he tells you about how like he apparently he goes to this like historical group where they like argue about stuff about Flan, and like
hold on. This is perfect. Back when I was a rogue, I learned to use the longbow because of Ren of the Blade.
Right, perfect. Yeah, and he gets this pained look, and he's like, he's like, I've mastered the long knife and the sword, but the longbows always escape me. These stubby dwarven arms curse them, but that's a beautiful thing. And you're both like looking at this bow, and
I'm looking at it too. Like, that's a nice bow.
I mean, to be fair, like all of the stuff in here is kind of just like regular looking junk. Like, like this is the like the hem of a cloak once touched by Ren o' the Blade that he ordered off of Fantasy eBay, and like it just looks like a scrap of cloth to anybody else, but he knows.
Well, I mean, but like a well-crafted bow doesn't have to be fancy AF.
That's true.
Like it could just be like a really like nicely put together bow, and I'm just like, yeah, I respect that.
Yeah. And he's very happy now to have been able to explain this to Lane. And I think unless somebody drags him back to the conversation at hand, he'll just talk about Ren o' the Blade for the rest of the.
I was just going to.
Yeah.
So something was
Oh my
stolen.
god! Just before you start, I just thought of an amazing pun. So the thing where they all get together and they talk about Ren and the Blade, they call them Ren fairs. There's an annual Ren fair every year in Flan, and he organizes them, and they all dress up and talk about the good old days. They speak slightly archaic common to each other and call each other milord and milady.
Please.
Oh, it's perfect. Fucking history nerds. Oh boy.
Like, Oleander gets up and walks out and leaves the whole adventuring party back into the Underdark.
Oh boy.
So, you had a book stolen from you?
Yeah, so that brings his attention right back to it. And he's like, I did. Real shame. Because whoever stole that book, and believe me, as soon as it was missing, I made a list and I interrogated everyone else in my historical group, and they all say they didn't steal it, and they're mostly old men anyway, so I don't think they have the capacity. But whoever stole it, they're going to burn in every hell there is, one at a time.
I could help with that.
And he sighs, and he says it was a personally important book to me. I had it nearly a decade. I wouldn't say it's the most valuable thing here. I mean, some of my own adventures brought back gold and jewels worth much more than that book, but it had sentimental value, you see. It was a personal memento of Ren of the Blade himself, written in his own hand about his days in Flan.
So this is about Flan specifically?
He nods. He says, that's what made it so important. It was Ren's words about the time in which he defeated Tyrant Thraxus, and about the Pool of Radiance and the caverns below Valjevo Keep.
The Pool of Radiance. We've had that before.
He nods and he says it's a bit of obscure history of the city. To be honest, I think that and he gets this like conspiratorial tone. He's like, I think that, well, some of us believe the pool is still down there. The current history says it was destroyed in the Battle of Tyrant Thraxus. Massive cave-in, you see, filled the thing in, but some of us think it's still down there below the keep. Now, I obviously am too old to go down myself, and most of the rest of my historical group are a bunch of cowards, but, yeah, we've theorized. We've theorized that it still remains, but...
What keep would it have been under, and what noble family resides inside that keep?
It says it's Valjevo Keep. It's the largest fortress in Flan, but it's owned by the city. The Black Fist, I think, are the custodians of it now. Though, if you've seen the place in the last few months, it's barely livable. No one stays there. It's practically a ruin. And trust me, I know ruins. Besides, wasn't the Lord Protector killed in a... Yes, he has a cave-in recently there. He went to inspect it. And he looks to Lane, like, certainly you remember this. And yeah, like, not that long ago, actually, most people blame the current troubles on this accident at Valjevo Keep, where a bunch of rocks fell on the mayor and killed him.
Yeah, you told us about that, like, as part of the setup for the campaign, I think.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah. So he's like, yeah, so this Valjevo Keep, I mean, some people say it's cursed on account of the pool and its dark influence, but the party line is that it doesn't... It no longer exists, that its magic went away with Tyrant Thraxus, and when Ren and some others freed the city from the demon lord, well...
Some others.
Miscellaneous others, yeah. Well, the great irony, just stepping out of character, the great irony is that, like, miscellaneous others are, like, 2nd edition D&D adventurers, because the whole, like, Ren and the Pool of Radiance thing, like, that's an adventure from an older version of D&D. So,
cool.
like, it's like a Warcraft thing, where, like, Ren and 4 brave champions...
Yeah.
But yeah, so he says the book itself, it was unassuming. I never kept it under lock and key, mostly because I liked to look at it so often, and it was not something that you'd have to know what it was to know to steal it. It was about yay big, and he's like a little folio. I simply stored it on a bookshelf among others. And there were more valuable books on that shelf. Older books, more obviously worth stealing. So whoever took it, they knew what they were looking for.
Well, I think we are trying to... I look to Graveris and Lane and Oleander, like, I should probably not be doing the talking here. They're like, I think we are trying to get it back.
Yeah.
So it may be back in your hands soon enough.
Yeah, he turns to look at you, Anastasia, and he's like, if you could return that book to me, my scaly friend, I would owe you a debt of gratitude.
Yes.
Gratitude, that's what we're
Very
here
well.
for. Definitely
Okay,
gratitude.
I've worked out how I want to spend my downtime days after this adventure. We're going to train with this guy.
There is.
All right. Can you show us where the book was taken from? Are there any windows around that area? Was there any noticeable breaking in, or was it just gone?
He shakes his head and he says, no, none of my servants saw anything. None of the doors were damaged. None of the locks broken. I don't know how they got in or out, but he shrugs.
How
Well,
long
you did
ago
have the
was
doors
this?
open when we came here. Do you often just leave your house open?
He says, well, the courtyard is open. I have students to train, and it'd be a great hassle to open the door every time one of them came in, but the doors to the manor are shut and locked at night. And the place I have servants about.
How
I
long
think-
ago was this? How many nights?
What's that?
How long ago was it stolen? How many nights?
Oh, he says, 2 days pass?
2 days.
Okay, yeah, I turn, I guess specifically to Anastasia. Like, is there any possibility for there to still be magical residue if they didn't come in through conventional means?
If there was any kind of spell casting, it's possible there may be something left. I could take a look around, and I like hop off of whatever chair or wherever we're kind of hanging out.
Yeah, and I say, with your permission, of course. It would only be to detect magic.
He nods and gestures.
I unlatch this big tome that I'm carrying around, like a backpack, basically. Like, yeah, you know, like.
So does the book have like straps? Do you wear it on your back?
Yeah,
Oh my god, that's so good.
Because like before, I could have done it like a shoulder strap or something, but now I'm freaking 2 feet tall.
God, I love the idea of this little kobold with like a book strapped to their back.
Yeah. Okay.
You can use it as a footstool
see.
sometimes.
Yeah, let's see here. Like sort of reading through everything that may help. And can I do like an arcana or something to
Yeah. So what do you want to know? I guess is the question.
I want to know if a spell was cast to enter this building. You know.
Yeah, I mean
Like
that's what
residue from a circle.
that's what
or-
detect magic is for. Arcana is only using your like memory and knowledge, like hearing someone casting a spell or seeing material components and knowing what spell they might be
Sadly,
for.
don't have detect
Yeah.
magic.
Yeah.
Oh, do none of us have detect magic anymore?
No.
I could take it. I would have to move my
Instead of spare the dying, you have that.
is detect magic a cantrip?
No,
No,
it's a
first
level
level
1
spell.
spell.
It's not a cantrip, but I can move around my invocations because you can change them every level if you want to. It's one of those things that warlocks can do. And I can move around my invocations so that instead of repelling blast, I have detect magic at will.
Right at will. Yeah, sure. Do you want to have done that?
So that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be really useful for
Oh,
the
So yeah, I take out my big book, flicking through it, and I start speaking, though it isn't the infernal that you're used to hearing. It's draconic.
It's got a
So-
right. So you cast your spells in Draconic now?
Well, these ones from the book,
Sure.
you know, and my eyes like light up, and I look around like trying to see if there's anything that like registers as magic.
Sure. Yeah. I don't think so. I think that this room, and if you take like a short walk around,
Yeah,
like
I take some time to like.
yeah,
go around.
the magic in this place is the magic of history. You know, there isn't. Probably somewhere in this place he keeps his old, you know, magic axe and armor and like his adventuring gear, but in the manor house itself, you find no evidence of magic. If someone like broke in and stole the book from this place, they almost certainly did so. Either like the magic has long faded now, or they did so in a mundane fashion.
Yeah, so 5 minutes or so, 10 minutes after I've sort of like looked around and been through various rooms and so forth, I come back into the living room, wherever we are, the collection room.
Yeah, the nerd room.
The nerd den. And say, nothing I can find, no spells or anything that would suggest that there was any kind of entrance that way. Close the book, put it on the ground, like, yeah.
All right. Well, I think we know at least how this specific book may be related to whatever this group is.
I think probably our best option is to talk to someone else and try and draw some strings together.
I agree. I think that we have more people to go harass, as it were. You've been very helpful.
Okay. He just seems happy to have had like some company to show off all of his like Ren otaku shit too.
Yep.
Your collection is very impressive.
Yeah, and actually, Lane, before you leave, he invites you. Like he says, in a fortnight's time, we have our monthly meeting. You obviously have a mind for history. If you'd like to join us, it would be a delight to have you.
Yeah, I totally do that. Oh yeah, like when is that? And I just like get out my notebook to write it down. Like look around at everybody. I'm like, yes, when the mission's completed, we can talk further.
Sure. Yeah, he invites you. He totally invites you to like come back and.
Very specifically, only Lane.
Yeah, he doesn't need.
Yeah, no, definitely. I get it.
It's weird. I seem to play nerds in every game. Like I didn't even realize this character was a nerd. It just happened.
Anyway, we should, I think, go to. I feel like the magic is like almost periphery. I feel like we should go to whoever had the noble book stolen from them. That was the last one that was stolen, right?
Yeah.
Stolen one. I think that we should go there because that's the one. Like, I mean, this is about the pool of radiance. It's under this keep.
So as you're leaving, the group of you head back out into the yard, and you notice there is a dwarven woman, younger than Martin. But they're obviously related. Like their hair is the same color, their facial features are similar. And she's talking with a couple of humans, kind of like the students. And when you walk out, she like death glares you, Oleander, and she like spits on the ground and says something to her father in Dwarven. And he kind of scowls and like says something back to her. And she just looks at you like she wishes you were dead. She just like, gives you this.
I like grin and like bare as many of my teeth as possible. And like if I like have I don't have a dagger, so never mind. I was like if I had a blade, I would like draw it and like pick my fingers with it or something like ridiculous, but I don't. So I'm just basically gonna make like the biggest like I could eat you for dinner grin.
Why don't you make an intimidation check for me?
Sure.
Say DC 12. Oh yeah, okay. All right. So she's all talk, right? She like looks at you and spits on the ground, says something in Dwarven, and then you like give her the grin, and she just shakes her head like in disgust, and turns back to the humans. And I think she says something like mean or like snaps at one of them apparently for no reason. Like she turns around and she's like, "Idiot, you have your boots laced all wrong," and like starts berating this dude and just totally redirects all of her like anger at him.
While we're leaving, I'm sort of like walking with Oleander, go like, you get a lot of people riled up for no reason.
I'm sure you will become accustomed to that as well.
Really? Shame.
And I'm like literally like swallowing bile, like just look. I can't look at you when you speak to me because like I don't.
Your favorite enemy is cool.
Yeah,
that's right. Your I forgot about that.
No, your voice still sounds sort of like Anastasia, so I just look up and I don't look at you when you speak to me. Like I
Oh,
God,
yeah,
this
no,
trying to have a moment, and it turns out you hate me too.
no, I hate you so much.
Oh, gosh, it's like just so many. Like, I think this whole thing with you being a kobold is like the realest shit this campaign has ever been.
It's
'Cause
so
just like
real.
there's just so much shit going on. Like back before, I hated a thing that wasn't you, and now you're this thing that I hate, and I'm
It's so
confused.
real. It's so real. I can't. It's
yeah.
so real.
Oh boy.
Been in that
Anyway.
exact situation in real life.
So yeah, so there's a tense moment between the two of you. Also, because I've been remiss in handing it out, everybody should have inspiration now because you're playing the game in an entertaining way. So
Thank you.
make sure you have inspiration charged.
I'll take it.
Yeah, do
So,
it.
so wait, where are we going? The magic or the nobles? Or noble?
I think we have more information to gain from finding out how that book on nobles ties into all of this.
Oh. All right then.
If we don't learn what we need to learn, then we can go visit your wizard friend or whatever.
I mean, I don't know them, but I do like magic things more than noble.
Anyway,
things.
So you're gonna go see Lord Aegon Lamarck, or are you gonna visit the magic shop of Aya Glenmere?
I think that Oleander would vote Aegon. I vote
we're gonna go
Aegon.
visit Headley Lamar.
Okay. It takes some time because Aegon's not actually at home. His servants tell you that he actually works in a shop in Podol Plaza. And like Lane, you know the House Lamarck, there's no reason for him to have a job. Like like none whatsoever. But yeah, they're
If
like
he's a lord, he has a job. That's wasting time job.
yeah, he's just like it's just he's older too. Like if you want to, you can make a history check about Aegon particularly, but yeah, so you have to go to his house, and they're like, "Oh yeah, actually, he's back where you like he's back in Podol Plaza at this little shop." Okay, so you just know that like the Lamarck family is like decently well off. They're kind of they're on they're in a bit of a like popular recession right now because they're kind of apolitical, and most of the noble houses are like aligning with the guilds. And so the House Lamarck has been like, yeah, we just kind of want to stick to ourselves, and all the other houses are like, you fucking cowards, like get on for the big win here. So they're in a bit of a decline, but still well off. Certainly well off enough that he has no reason to have a job. So you want to go to this shop, and I think that it's like mid-afternoon when you get there. It's a little dusty shop, kind of jammed between two larger shops on the corner of the plaza. And when you come inside, when you enter, yeah, there's like motes of dust hanging in the sunlight, and the place smells. It smells like old books, but it's not like a bookstore. There aren't like shelves full of books. In fact, the shop is quite small. There's a wooden desk. There's a door that leads to like a back room, and the walls are kind of unadorned. Just walking in, you actually have no idea what the shop is for. It just looks like an office. And there's a closed, like a ledger or a book on the desk. And when you open the door, there's a bell that rings. And from the back, you hear a voice that comes from the back room. It's like, just a moment. I'll be with you in just a moment. Have a seat.
Are there seats?
Yeah, there's a couple of, there's like two like wooden seats in front of the desk.
I hoist myself up onto a seat and sit.
Graveris, as a person who is familiar with facades, let's say, everything in here, like the desk and the quill and the book and everything, has like been chosen on purpose to make this place seem kind of like unassuming and homely. Like it's not like you know, it's not like it developed naturally over time, but someone specifically like sanded this desk to look like kind of worn, you know.
Oh yeah, it's got like the faux like craquelure on the like the fake antiquing.
Yeah, it's real good. It's expensive work, but it's not authentic. You can tell at a glance that it's meant to sell an image of
yeah,
history.
and so I'm like wandering around the space, just like frowning at things and like picking things up and putting them back down, and you know, they have like it's clear that there's no like sun fading of objects that are designed to like that have been placed to like look like they've been there forever. And so I lift it up and the wood is like the same on both.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So it's clear to you. So Graveris is like, yeah, taking a great amount of time absorbing the detail of the room. Who's sitting? Who's gonna sit at the desk?
I'm not going to sit.
I'm
next to
sitting, legs dangling, tail flopped out the back of the chair.
So Lane
Lane
and
is taking a
Anastasia.
great time observing the details of Gravaris.
Good. That's good. Okay. Perfect.
This
okay.
is like a hunt for you, isn't it?
Seriously. Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Just crouched down in the long grass, just waiting.
Waiting for her delicious dinner of Graveris.
So the door opens, and the little door to the back opens, and an older man, human. He's got graying hair. He's sort of balding on top, and he's wearing sort of affected like scholars' robes, like same deal. Like they're meant to look like old like sages' robes, but he like obviously had them tailored to look that way and had them like aged at the elbows and what have you. And so he comes into the room. He's got like spectacles on his nose, and he like looks around. And I think he sighs, and he says, "You're here about the book, I presume."
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, good. I'm sure this is going to be a fantastically interesting conversation. And he looks at you, Lane. He's like, "Oh, and a hustings. Fantastic."
I want to murder him.
Can I insight this?
Yeah.
this-
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I'm just like, okay, what are you pretending to be?
Yeah. I'm also interested in. Oh, never mind.
I get a 22. I feel like this is something where Mask would help me. So I get a 25.
All right. Yeah, you're killing it. Mask is good at peeling away people's facades.
Peeling away their onion layers.
So I don't know. Maybe Mask is the one that like lets you figure this out. But this guy, you've seen House Lamarck. Maybe you've stolen from them. Maybe you have some connection to them in a past life. So you know what the lords and ladies of House Lamarck look like. You can pick out their high cheekbones and their like sallow expressions or whatever. This guy is no Lamarck. There's no way. Like he's just not one. That's it. Yeah. There's no question to you. He's really putting on the like, I'm a noble. But like, yeah, he's a big faker. Yeah. So you notice that Mask reveals that insight to you. But he says, whatever questions you have to ask me, please, let's get it over with. I'm very busy.
Yes, I can see you have a great many customers and things to do.
He looks down at you and he says, I wouldn't expect a kobold to understand this, but some of us value quality over quantity.
Well, we're here, and quality.
He looks at the four of you and he says, you have a quality, to be sure, but it's not my place to judge what that might be.
Gravaris is like, so we're here about not a book, but like this guy that you're pretending to be.
Yeah, you don't get the impression, Graveris, he's pretending to be someone he's not. It's not like the actual, like, Aegon Lamarck is dead and, like, buried somewhere. Like, this guy's just pretending to be a noble that he's not.
Okay, but there's no other Aegon Lamarck.
Yeah, no. Like, yeah, like, he is Aegon Lamarck, but he isn't, like, he isn't a member of House Lamarck. And that's clear to you. That may not be to everybody else.
Yeah, no.
I have no idea.
Oleander's just like enjoying the view, so whatever.
So, Graveris, or Lane, or Anastasia, well, you're being, or Graveris,
I mean, I'm
while you're
having
being
this
over-
conversation right now, so I guess I
hit
can.
it.
So, we're here to figure out why or how this book was stolen and what it may have to do with the other books that were stolen, and then get it back and bring it back.
He He says, it's a mystery to me how they managed to steal this book from my shop. I have the finest locks installed in the doors. And the book itself was secured within my desk, which is protected by several powerful magical wards.
Really? How very interesting. I would like to detect magic.
Okay, so you like take the book out and he looks at it and he's like, what are you doing?
While she's detecting magic.
If he's looking at the book, he can just see like pages of like this, draconic, like small draconic script, just pages and pages as I flip through.
Yeah. He's like, he waves his hands. He's like, no, none of that here. You can't do. I won't have your kobold shenanigans in my office.
While he's going like, oh no, I'm like in the middle of incanting like the spell, and
right, we're just checking if your wards have been compromised.
and
It's like, I'm a private citizen of this city, and I object to your casting spells in my office.
And so, yeah, Graveris is going to interject to calm this guy down by just saying, yes, but we're here on behalf of the Black Fist, and they don't give a damn about your rights or privileges.
Do you show him the like Order of the Black Fist thing that you got?
Yeah, and I let Lane like bust out the writ.
Yeah, like I sigh and shake my head. I was like, well, we're doing it this way. Okay,
Put
fine.
it down, yeah. And he looks at it and he scowls. Can you, Graveris, make an intimidation check? You can have advantage.
Great. Hold on. There we go.
Oh my God, he's so intimidated.
As fuck.
He's like he puts his hands up. He's like, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were working for the Black Fist. Of course, I'm entirely unwilling to be in the way of justice. Whatever it is that you need to do. And like looks at the kobold like,
And just
please,
to like turn the screws
please
a little
continue.
more,
Yeah.
Graveris is just like, yes, and we are experts contracted into this investigation for our ability to detect all manner of lies and deception, all falsehood and false pretense are revealed to us.
Right. He looks at the book like, we're gonna cast a spell and all your horrible secrets will come out. And he's just like, I mean, certainly if you're welcome to look about the office. I should get out of your way and let you continue your. And he like looks over at you. Very well.
So while this is going on, I have incanted and am detecting magic currently. My eyes are like lit up once more, and I'm looking around this shop with a new light in my eyes, a new vision.
I feel like the only magical thing in here is like Lane's goggles.
So no wards.
No, certainly not.
Okay.
I sort of smile as if a kobold can do that. I don't know. They got kind of a lizard.
You can
face.
bare your teeth.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
just kind of like the same muscles being used, but probably do a different effect.
Yeah.
And I turn back towards Graveris and I go, and liar.
I think that we can all kind of tell that he's like.
But I'm just confirming it like into the air.
He says,
you know?
he says, he's like, I never. I'm not going to be accused of. Listen, I paid top coin for this desk and was assured that it was magically protected. And if you don't detect magic in it, then I think you need to recalibrate your magical senses, or I need to have a word with this craftsman who promised me. And he like kind of just mumbles, trails off.
As he's waving his hands around,
Yeah.
does he have his noble signet ring? Because
He does, yeah. He's wearing like no less than a half dozen gaudy rings on his fingers. One of them bears the sigil of House Lamarck.
Okay.
One of the other ones you notice that isn't just a gem, carries the sigil of the Lord's Alliance. Agreed. Yeah.
I mean, like, okay, as a spy, like, like, this guy wants to exit the situation. He's lying out his ass, and he's really nervous that we're gonna find something out about him, right?
I mean, you could assume some of those things, sure.
Why did you have this book specifically?
He says the Lords and Lineages of Flan is a catalog of every noble house that has ever resided in this city. The first entry dates back 700 years. It was valuable in my work.
your work being?
I help nobles connect themselves to the grand history of the city. They come to me and we work out their genealogy. Sometimes bastards or half siblings. Sometimes foreigners who've come to Flan seeking a reconnection with long lost relatives. It's important work, you see, for the history of the city.
I mean, when he says any of those words, does he like flick his eyes down? Like, I imagine one of those things is the thing that he has done, right?
Yeah, like he doesn't. I mean, you don't have like an automatic lie detector on him, but that's what he says that he does. Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
He seems to be telling the truth to you.
So,
Why do you
Adam,
I
think
don't.
someone would steal
Nonsense,
this
like-
particular book if it only has value to, are you saying nobles?
Yeah, he says I can't possibly imagine why anyone would want to steal it. It's rare and old, but it's little more than a collection of lineages and notes made by scribes. It's not even a nicely illustrated book. It's ugly and hard to read. Only truly a master of the topic could be able to make any use of it at all.
So, Adam,
Yes.
am I to understand then that this dude is basically some charlatan who, like, takes money from nobles to tell them who they're related to?
Whether he's a charlatan or not isn't clear, but yeah, I mean, he does a business in having people come to him and be like, I think that I'm related to these people, and he like gets them to pay a lot of money, and then he's like, yes, why, yes, you are. Here's your note of official genealogy, right?
Yeah.
Or like noble families might come to him and be like, we would like this person excised from the house records. Like, can we just make it so that no one thinks that they're one of us? Like, yeah, he's
so
essentially
he's
like,
pretty shady in that way.
I mean, all nobles are kind of shady, but yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Um,
So,
Strikes me that in your line of work, someone might find themselves offended at some of your products. Any of that recently?
He no, he shakes his head. He says, I I have no enemies. I am well beloved by the community here in Flan. Well, the community I interact with, at least. I don't spend a lot of time among the commoners. Not very interesting genealogy there. How can you tell who's related to whom? They all breed together. It's disgusting.
Yes, that's so unlike the nobility.
He laughs. My point exactly. There's a pedigree.
well, regardless of that, I'm actually interested in some of these noble lineages. If you can remember, what was the keep that is supposed to be on top of the radiant pool?
Oh, Valjevo Keep.
Yes. The noble house that used to reside in Valjevo Keep. What can you tell me of them?
He says you're asking me to do my work for free. Would you? I have a dragon I would like slain. Could you go and take care of that for me? Oh no, I have no reward for you. You see, I just would like you to do it.
Well, we could reward you by leaving here without, I don't know, knocking things over, blooding you up. Is that reward enough?
He's like, I pay the Black Fist their protection money. You wouldn't dare.
Wouldn't I?
No,
The thing
I think
is,
you wouldn't.
the thing is, I don't think they think you've been entirely forthcoming with them in this investigation. And I just like tapped the piece of paper again. I was like,
He shakes his head and he says, I've told you everything that I know. They took something of great value to me, and I'm going to have to spend the next month trying to make up for my notes.
we can return it to you if you answer our questions. It's of your benefit as well.
He nods and he says, I'm willing to answer any questions you might have, but I've already said everything that I know.
Which is not very much.
The nobles of Valjevo Keep.
He shakes his head. He's like, it's a cursed place and has been for hundreds of years. It was built to house some knight, I think, in the time that the Zentarum were Listen, it's not of any value to the nobility of this city, otherwise we would have fixed it already. It's a seat of government. Frankly, I think they should just bulldoze the place, and I mean, he doesn't say bulldoze because there's no bulldozers. They should knock the place down and rebuild something of value on top of it.
So, I'm trying to think of how this book might have been connected to the other two books. It's just like noble lineages and stuff, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
perhaps this theft isn't connected to the other thefts at all.
The
No,
I'm personally starting to think that someone may have just stolen it from this person completely out of spite. Because I'm starting to think I might steal something from this person completely out of spite.
yeah, the only other line of inquiry that I have is knowing Man of the Blade, for his work in protecting Flan, was he ever knighted? Or
I don't think so. There isn't like really a knight in this in Flan isn't a title that's like given to you as a noble thing. It's a like a rank. You're a knight of the Black Fist.
Okay.
Yeah, Ren was obviously like celebrated by the people of Flan, but because Flan is kind of jaded and cynical, they just moved on. And then there was another disaster later that Ren didn't stop because he was, old or dead, and they were like, "Well, what has he done for us lately?" Right? Like,
And he wasn't himself a noble.
no, he was not. He was kind of a nobody, actually.
Yeah.
So there's the question of how this specifically relates to the other books that were stolen from the library. I mean, this book wasn't even a library book, was it? It was owned by you, right, sir?
He nods. It's been in House Lamarck's family for 2 centuries. I believe it belonged to the library prior to that, but we safeguarded this information for a very long time, at least until now.
Perhaps we should move on. Well, if you can't give us any more information, then I'm just going to assume that your book has nothing to do with what we need, and I have no interest in getting it back to you. So we'll be seeing you later, or not, as it were.
You're gonna leave?
I mean,
Okay.
like, I can't get anything out of him that I can tell. So,
I think I'm gonna wait for everyone else to file out.
Yeah, I'll leave.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like the door closes and then blood just splashes on the window.
No.
Okay.
I'll just say this whole place is false, just like you. Now, I've run all manner of game in this town, and I can tell you this one is as good as any other. And so from one professional to another, perhaps you can be frank with me.
Make a persuasion check. Or intimidation. It sounds like persuasion though.
I'll happily
Oh,
persuade him.
damn.
fucking Christ.
Yeah, y'all are
And-
blowing. Aside from Lane's one bad roll, y'all are or both actually. Lane, you're not doing so well, but everyone else is blowing it out of the water today.
Yeah, I get a 28 to persuade this guy.
Fuck. Okay.
I'm just like, hey, look, we're both in the same business. Can we just like talk like professionals here?
So he looks around and kind of like, now that y'all are like, yeah, letting your friends leave first totally like changes the tenor. And he leans in and he's like, look, here's the thing. And it's like his voice changes.
Yeah.
And he's like, the thing is technically, yeah, no, okay, I'm not a Lamarck, but like half the family isn't anymore anyway either. The real House Lamarck started to die out ages ago, and all the elders that are left are... It's not a good bloodline. Look, so, okay, fine. But everything else that I said, it's true. Listen, that book, my great-great-grandfather, clever man, God's bless him, he made some adjustments to the lords and lineages of Flan that secured our branch of the family a place among the nobility, you see? So we claim descent from the line, and, well, there's no one to contest it, certainly no one who's not senile, and it means a lot to me personally, fiscally, you understand, to be able to continue this operation.
And this edit to it, too terribly noticeable under inspection.
He shakes his head. He's like, I'm surprised half of the nobles in this town can even read. They don't look at the book. I just flip through it, point to the old pages and say, oh, yes, of course. It says right here. It doesn't matter.
all bullshit.
The nobility, he nods, and he's like, they're easy to fool because all that matters is the veneer. That's what this whole place is for. So I pretend, and they pay me, and I have money, and I can live comfortably. And in Flan, that's saying a lot. And most of the time, the Black Fists leave me alone. Until today. But now someone stole my book, and listen. And he, like, leans in. He's like, if someone with half a brain gets their hands on that book, they might start asking the wrong questions. And yes, if the book just disappeared, that'd be great. But I can't sleep at night with it missing. Because what if someone finds out? I'll be ruined. And not just me, the rest of our line. There are innocent people here who believe that they're nobles. And you don't want them out on the streets like a commoner, do you? Look, I'll pay you. If you bring the book back to me, I mean, you don't tell anybody about this conversation or the creative adjustments that my great-grandfather made to the book, then I'll pay you. How does 50 gold sound?
Sounds like a life cheaply bought. But I look around, I'm like, this whole thing is cheap. And I walk out the door.
Yeah, and as you walk out, I think that y'all outside, y'all hear the guy inside say, yes, it was a pleasure discussing that with you. Keep my offer in mind. And then the door like closes behind you.
Right, the weave then, unless he was
I suppose that is the last place
related to
we
you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure this all relates somehow, and it will be clear once we have all the pieces.
Okay. Yep, let's check the last place then.
Okay, I'm just making a note of how much gold I'm having these NPCs promise you.
I mean, what he doesn't realize about Graveris is that I actually would like to see them all out on the street and tear the established order down.
Yeah, I mean, is it satisfying to you, or would Mask approve of like false nobles like infiltrating their ranks?
I mean, yeah, it's kind of like
You
that part's funny. If
and
we
this
can
guy,
put
Mask
it
is
on
probably
the-
thumbs up for both of you, right? Because Mask is probably like, nice. He's a big faker too. His whole life is a fake, and he's
Yeah.
getting away with it. So that's kind of cool.
That's cute, but wouldn't it be funny if the grand joke of the nobility at large were revealed? And so what if this one guy gets caught up in it?
Yeah, who can know the intentions of the gods?
Anyway.
I march off towards the magic shop.
All right, so you're gonna go visit Aya Glenmere. Cool.
Mhm.
All right. Cool. Well, let's grab a second break here, and when we get back, we'll continue. We'll meet up with Aya Glenmere and finish off Act 1 of the
Heck
of the
yeah.
adventure. Sweet. Stick around. More D&D when we get back.